Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we'll be recapping the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots in Week 17. But before we get started today, just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to call in, leave me your question, and I will try to get to it on the show. New episodes drop every Wednesday for Just Jets. So today's the end of an era. Adam Gase, gone. Sam Darnold likely to be gone as well. Let's jump into it. In Week 17, Cam Newton starts off this game with a 50-yard run. That was the first big play of the game. Newton dumps it off to White for a touchdown, and the Patriots would go up 7-0. For the most of this first half, the Patriots offense really didn't do all that much, but that drive was probably their best drive of the half. The Jets defense didn't look that great in this spot, and it was shown. When their inability to cover running backs and tight ends on a consistent basis is just so frustrating. On the Jets' first possession, it was a heavy dose of checkdowns and Ty Johnson. The Jets were forced to punt, but it was nice to see some Ty Johnson today, who I thought looked explosive. The Pats would punt it right back to the Jets. The offense is stalling out on both sides. Cam had an opportunity to run for a first down and instead threw an incomplete pass on one of these possessions. It's just neither one of these teams are good. Obviously, the Patriots win to get to 7-9 and the Jets lose to go to 2-14, spoiler alert. But none of these two teams were good, and the quarterback play was pretty putrid in this game. So it kind of just goes to show you the issue with both of these teams, and it led to a rather boring football game. And early in this game, it was absolutely shown. Something of note, too, in the first half for the New York Jets, they absolutely need help at guard. Greg Van Roten returned and wasn't very good. Likely need two guards. I would like to get one in free agency and draft one early on as well. Really bolster up that offensive line. On the interior, to me, right tackle, left tackle, you're good. McGovern, good as well, but definitely need help at the guard position for sure. Mims would go to the locker room and be evaluated for a concussion. He would not return. Later on this same possession, you have Jamison Crowder making a saving play on what looked like it was going to be an interception. He came out of nowhere, made an unbelievable play, and kept his feet in bounds. And then you get a great throw from Sam Darnold to Chris Herndon, who has had a really nice resurgence over the last few weeks. 7-7 ball game. This is all tied up. At the half, the score was 7-7, and to open up, the Jets had a really nice drive in the second half. Darnold hits Perriman for a huge play. Adams runs it in for a touchdown. Jets go up 14-7. This is when the wheels come off. Mekhi Becton gets hurt. He did not come back in this game, just shut that down. It looked like something with his ankle or leg. Hopefully he's healthier in 2021. Got banged up a lot in 2020. Overall, a very promising rookie year for Mekhi Becton. He's probably the Jets' best player. Him and Quinnen Williams look like the Jets' best player. The good thing is they are both really young. At 21 years old, probably would like to lose a couple of pounds and get in better playing shape. We saw that from Quinnen Williams in year 1 to year 2. I think we could see something similar with Mekhi Becton, but overall have to be pretty solid, or pretty satisfied rather, I guess I'll say, with Mekhi Becton's rookie season. Have to talk about the huge hit from Neville Hewitt, the clothesline play. He is a really good tackler, can't cover anybody. He's okay as your second linebacker. I would be okay bringing him back on a cheap deal and having C.J. Mosley come back as your starting inside linebacker for next year. But really an impressive hit. Patriots would cap off this drive with the Philly special. Yes, defenses are still falling for the Philly special in the year 2020. It's been run for 4 years now, but sometimes it still works. Jets fell for it. Cam Newton receives a touchdown pass, 14-14. After a promising start for Sam Darnold, it all goes out of control. He was picked off. There goes the nice play. There was a clean pocket. He stepped into the throw, but it was overthrown. He was trying to hit Perriman. There were 3 guys around him, overthrew Perriman, and was picked off. As for the Patriots, they would respond right away. Nobody covered the tight end. Arthur Mollett blew the coverage, and it was 21-14 Patriots. Again, the Jets have struggled all year and for a long time now covering tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. The tight end burned them in this spot, 21-14. The Jets would respond and do absolutely nothing on the next possession. Play calling wasn't good. Sam missed the receiver. It was just not good at all. The Patriots would add one more touchdown. Sony Michel on a receiving touchdown to go up 28-14. Sam Darnold would have one more interception, this time in the end zone, and that would do it. 28-14. He would complete one more pass to Chris Herndon, which put him over 260 yards on the day. He finished with 266 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions. On the season, just 9 passing touchdowns and 11 interceptions in 12 games. Too many turnovers. Not enough playmaking ability. The mechanics look way off, and it's really sad, but I think it's come to an end. I really don't think that Sam Darnold is back next year. There wasn't one single game this entire year that stood out and was like, yep, that was a really good Sam Darnold game. And the sad part is, in year 1 and year 2, there were a lot of moments that made you feel excited about him. And I, like a lot of Jets fans, was excited about him going into year 3. And I thought he would take, at minimum, a pretty much lateral step over or improve in year 3. And it completely fell out from under him. He has been atrocious this year, and it's going to be time to move on. The New York Jets are going to be looking for a quarterback. They have the 2nd pick in the NFL draft. They're not going to take Penei Sewell. They're not going to trade back no matter what rumors come out. Obviously, Joe Douglas is going to try to maximize as much value as he humanly possibly can for Sam Darnold and for that number 2 pick. But at the end of the day, I truly believe it's going to either be Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, whose name is called on draft day with the 2nd overall pick. You can't continue to run it back with Sam Darnold with how he's played this year. He played 12 games, was really bad. Really, if you look at his last 14 games that were played, he hasn't had a good game since the Vegas Raiders game last year. It's been a long time, unfortunately. I thought he was going to be the one to change it. I truly did, and I was confident in him. In his first year, he looked really good. Second year, the numbers got better, but there were some things that were a little worrisome. And then year 3, just absolute disaster. And unfortunately, I think that's going to do it. It was nice to see running backs not named Frank Gore get some carries. Josh Adams, 11 carries for 47 yards. Ty Johnson, 11 carries for 45 yards. And Josh Adams had a touchdown, so that was pretty solid to see. Receiving-wise, Brashad Perryman had 3 catches, 84 yards. And Chris Herndon had 7 catches and 63 yards and a touchdown. Nice to see Chris Herndon back. I absolutely would like to see him going into next season as the number 1 tight end. I truly think that he is someone who is going to break out after moving away from Adam Gase. He has 1 more year on a cheap deal from his rookie deal, and he's come on strong in the second half of this year, especially in the last month or so. So I absolutely want to see more from Chris Herndon next year. Hopefully, whoever comes in here is able to get more out of him. But the end of an awful, awful season is finally upon us. The Jets finish 2-14. This is by far the worst Jets team that I have ever seen. I started watching football in the early 2000s. I'm 25 years old. I have lived through some good times with the Jets up until about 2011 and some bad times after 2012 through today. But I never thought I would hate a team more than the 2014 Jets. But that's past. I could not stand this 2020 team. It was very difficult to cover. There was not a lot of fun things to talk about. They started out 0-13. But if you are to take some positives, Quinnen Williams, breakout year in year 2. Mekhi Becton looking like a player. You got to be semi-excited about Denzel Mims. I think he can play. And going forward, that you would assume that Joe Douglas is trusted by a majority of the people here. And they do have a ton of draft picks coming up and a ton of cap space. But as a whole, and just looking at the year that was 2020 from the Bills game in week 1 all the way through right now, not a fun 17-week stretch. Absolutely not. But we can celebrate because I'm sure I'll be making a video either in a couple hours or tomorrow that Adam Gase is going to be fired. It's all going to be over. But the last 2 years were just disastrous. Unfortunately, like I said, I think it's coming to an end for Sam Darnold here. And we'll get after it again in 2021. And I really appreciate each and every one of you who have stuck by me and watched through the regular season. I appreciate you guys following along. And there will be a ton of coverage this offseason because, as I mentioned, top 2 pick, a lot of quarterback prospects to look at, a lot of coaching candidates to look at, a lot of free agency profiles, a ton to get into. And I appreciate each and every one of you. But for now, I am Matt O'Leary. That's going to do it for me. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.